Well, good evening. My name is Dr. Court, and I'm here with Jonette Biebensheimer. And tonight in the Optimal Longevity series, we're going to be discussing the new product that just came out yesterday in our launch, our new Omega-3, and how uniquely different this product is. But first, we actually have to do a little disclaimer. So I'll just read the disclaimer and then we'll get things started. You good with that?
Yeah.
There we go. These statements and comments have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This information is for educational purposes only. Engage, the micronutrient company, does not claim that our products diagnose, treat, cure, heal, or prevent any diseases or injury. Engage's products do, however, address our deficiencies and provide the nutrients we are lacking. Nothing said here today is intended to be a substitute for treatment or an appointment with your primary healthcare provider. And with that, let's go.
All right. Well, first of all, everyone, welcome. And I just spoke with Dr. Prasad, and he is on his way to Houston, and he will not be able to get on tonight. But we're just going to go ahead and roll with that and do the overview that I had prepared. And I think it's going to be good and simple. And I don't think we'll probably go the full hour because I was going to ask him quite a few questions. But let's just go ahead and get started.
Do you want me to try and answer the questions for you?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start here. All right. So the optimal, let me see what happened here. Stop screen share one more time. All right. The Optimal Longevity series is based off your lifespan is how long you live, and your health span is how many years you live a healthy, vibrant life. And we want your health span to equal your lifespan. And so when you look at this graphic, the top part of this is that today, by our age, like pushing 60, most of us are on many medications and we just don't have a high quality of life, but we just really want that lower part, that optimal longevity. And like Dr. Prasad would say, even one nutrient deficiency could cause those age-related diseases. And so now by having our new Omega-3 product, I think we're really going to be able to help a lot of people. So I'm super excited about that. So, well, first of all, what are Omega-3s? And I wanted to back up a little bit because we've talked, we know a lot about the antioxidants and antioxidant defense system in Dr. Prasad's life's work. But when it comes to the Omega-3s, it's a new mechanism of action. And he has been recommending Omega-3s in his peer-reviewed works and his textbooks, if you don't have these books right here, for many, many years. And Omega-3s are salmon and sardines and different types of nuts and anchovies and chia seeds. And you know what? Bottom line is, do you like to eat most of those things?
I know. In fact, I hate anchovies. But, and also krill and other things is where we can find Omega-3s.
Right. But it's really hard to get into our diet. And here's the textbook. So Dr. Prasad talks about these Omega-3s and on this textbook right here, this thin one, and this textbook right here. And he's been talking about it for many years. And so let's go to the next screen that we have here. All right. So we actually have two defense systems. And we briefly talked a little bit about that yesterday on the call, and we've mentioned it before, but I'm going to walk you guys through because I felt it was a little, confusing about fats and about the different defense systems. So Dr. Prasad's work in the antioxidant defense system, and it's been around for a really long time, we have both endogenous non-enzymatic antioxidants, the antioxidants that our body makes. And then we also have endogenous enzymatic antioxidants like catalase and glutathione. And so we have these different antioxidant defense systems, and it's very old. And that really is Dr. Prasad's area of expertise. And then we actually have exogenous antioxidants, which means the our mixed multi-micronutrient formulation is a perfect example of a suite of exogenous antioxidants with 24 million in research that actually helps activate both the to reduce oxidative stress and inflammation simultaneously. But this is the first of the 2 antioxidant defense systems. And this is what most of us know in Dr. Prasad's work. The other defense system, it is really hot in here. The other defense system is called the endocannabinoid system. And when I think of endocannabinoids, I think of people talking about CBD or THC.
Right.
Is that what you think too?
I do.
And you know what? That's not true. And so we just scratched the surface of that yesterday. Dr. Prasad has actually written a couple papers, and I'm going to pull them up here in a second. But one of the things that's really exciting is the antioxidant defense system and the endocannabinoid system actually crosstalk, and they really run a lot of processes in our body. And so I think they just discovered the endocannabinoid defense system back in the 1990s.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Okay, so I'm going to share, let me see. I have a couple graphics and some videos, but I wanted to walk through this one. Okay, hopefully this isn't, it's kind of a little bit of a blurry of a graphic, but it's really important. So when we talk about the endocannabinoid defense system, we actually have building blocks, and that building block is the omega-3, is that fish. Okay, so that's the actual building block that helps create the actual endocannabinoids in our body. And we can add the CBD as well, but the actual fish right here, on here, the molecule is actually from the actual eating of the omega-3 fish or the supplements.
So let me get this straight. We have the antioxidant network, and then we have the endocannabinoid network. Defense network.
Yeah.
But we have to fill these receptors because a lot of times they're empty. And so we fill the receptors with the antioxidants. And now we can fill the receptors with the omegas as well as the CBD.
I actually have a little video.
Oh,
and
good.
So we're going to back up. I mean, a lot of people may not know this. So even if you scavenge like YouTube and you want to learn more about this, it's not out there. But Dr. Prasad knows because he's actually written papers on it. So the second part are the cannabinoid receptors in the human cell. And there are 2 of them. They're the CBD1, which is in the central nervous system, and the CB2 receptors, which are in the immune cells, GI tract, and the peripheral nervous system. But let me see this last one here. And then the actual endocannabinoid defense system is, it can affect sleep, appetite, mood, motor control, immune functions, pleasure, pain, reproduction, memory, temperature regulation. So I thought this was an important, it was one of the very few graphics I could find, and there's hardly anything out there. So, but it's really important that this omega-3 really is that building block to help create a healthy endocannabinoid system. So, stop share that. Let me see. I want to go, let me see here.
That's this video too.
I know.
When we talk about the product though, and I'm sure that Jeff's going to pull this up later on, the purity of the product that we brought to the market is really second to none. And that's what I'm really excited about. But when you found this slide, man, she showed me this slide last night and said, what do you think?
Well, one of the things I think is really important, I want to lay the foundation why this building block is so important to optimal longevity is some symptoms of deficiencies. And some of them are on here. I'll read these and I'm going to add a couple more. Dry eye is number 1. So if somebody's got dry eye, dry skin, brittle, dry nails and hair, they have attention span issues, mood issues, irritability, anxiety and depression, joint pain and stiffness. This is an interesting one, excessive earwax.
Huh?
If you have excessive earwax, most likely you have an omega-3 deficiency. Allergies, asthma, hives, hay fever, and insomnia. So
this sounds like EMF.
It does.
A lot of the symptoms here are the symptoms that we see in EMF toxicity.
So I thought it was really important to talk about if you have deficiencies in this, there are some real telltale signs as a practitioner or a physician that you would be able to know. But a lot of people on the call, people that have all kinds of skin issues, eczema or rashes, all those types of things are just telltale signs. And there are so many studies that show that you can lower your risk when you have optimal omega-3s, and that would be so many studies. And I mean, I'm sure we'll do a little deeper dive next week with Dr. Prasad. But I've been looking at this for over 20 years in the cancer arena and knowing how important omega-3s are. But for heart disease, blood clots, Alzheimer's, dementia, breast cancer, and cancer, near and dear to my heart. And actually, Dr. Prasad was my guide when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I took our one product, which was our micro daily formula. And I also took 1,000 milligrams of omega-3 because that's what Dr. Prasad asked me to do. So we're going to look real quick at, I'm going to pull up a little short video. Let me see if I can get it up. I'm going to have to go to a different screen. One second, let me see if I can get it up real quick. I have a short little endocannabinoid video, which I think will be really helpful for people, but let's see if I can get it up there. Okay, here we go.
The endocannabinoid system involves a combination of endocannabinoids, receptors, and enzymes that help regulate several functions in the human body. Humans and vertebrates all have an endocannabinoid system, and it has evolved within us over time. The discovery of the endocannabinoid system in our bodies came out of an attempt by scientists to understand the effects of cannabis on the human body. What makes up the endocannabinoid system? Cannabinoids produced by the body, cannabinoid receptors called CB1 and CB2, and enzymes that either make or break down cannabinoids. Endocannabinoids, also called endogenous cannabinoids, are molecules made by our body, hence the word endo, which means within. The endocannabinoid system plays a significant role in the normal functioning of the body's systems that include the central nervous system, the cardiovascular system, gastrointestinal system, reproductive system, the skeletal system, immune system, and metabolic processes. The endocannabinoid system is an important mediator in regulating memory and learning, appetite, stress response, pain sensation, mood, sleep, inflammation, and addiction. There are two major endocannabinoids, anandamide and 2-AG. These endocannabinoids are made from fat-like molecules within the cell membranes, and binding of anandamide to our cannabinoid receptors results in our body's constant pursuit to achieve and maintain homeostasis.
I think one of the most fascinating things about when you're looking at this, because if you guys want to go onto YouTube, there's no one talking about omega-3s and the endocannabinoid system. As a matter of fact, in most medical schools, they don't even teach the endocannabinoid system.
Yesterday was the first time I heard that the omega-3 could play a role in the endocannabinoid system. It's very, very new.
It's a building block. So you're first here, that's super exciting. But I'm going to pull up a couple of papers that Dr. Prasad, the pioneer that he is, that he wrote. So I'm going to pull up a couple of them so that you guys can, let's see. That's not what I wanted. I think it's still up. I need to go back to this. And the very first paper he wrote in 2020. And this paper, if you want to learn more about what is the antioxidant defense system and what is the endocannabinoid system and how do they crosstalk and how they work together, because really the endocannabinoid system is really a lipid-based system, and it would make sense that when we have omega-3s that we have the building blocks for that to be optimal. But this paper right here is an excellent paper. He wrote it in 2020 for you to learn more about his work, and he was like a pioneer on this. He had to like go learn about it, you know, as well.
He spent like 6 months just learning about endocannabinoids and how they affected the body, and then he creates a product like this. Well, it's amazing. And we already have a very, very pure CBD product. So the building block would be like the fish oil and having the appropriate balance of omega-3 and omega-6 in our body, and then the CBD is a further down in the pipeline to go into the actual CB receptors. But anyhow, this is a really good start. And actually, for people that do have anxiety, pain, have insomnia, by combining the omega-3 with the CBD, I think we're going to see amazing results. We know I've been taking this course right now, and everything in this course on EMF is about decreasing oxidative stress, decreasing inflammation. But most companies don't have a solution. They know that's what needs to happen, but they don't have a solution. And we do. Well, I lost the other study, and so I'll have to pull that back up and bring that up next time. But Dr. Prasad does have a study, and I can't believe I don't know what happened. It just disappeared. It's okay. But when I looked up to prepare for this, I wanted to look at how is there any research for synergistically working both the antioxidant defense system and the endocannabinoid system. And Dr. Prasad's name was the first one that came up. And it was a paper that he wrote in 2022. And so a lot of people may have not heard of that, but he actually is discussing this. I mean, really how they work together and crosstalk and really govern the homeostasis of our body. Well, I think this is a good time to pull Jeff into it. Don't you? Sure. You know, I've been able to purchase product as a physician, and next month is 40 years in medicine, but there's lots of different products out there on the market. And what we found out, gosh, long time ago, was that some of these products have some pretty nasty chemicals in them, especially fish oils in the processing. And one of the tests that we used to do to determine whether or not a fish oil was good or not good was to take a couple drops of it and put it on some styrofoam, and it would degrade it. And I remember about 20 years ago, one of my professors, Dan Murphy, was talking about the omega-3, omega-6 ratio. Yes. And even back then, this was 20 years ago, we were looking at the omega-3, which is the good stuff, the omega-6, which is important, but the ratio was way off. So we had way up omega-6 and omega-3 here. And back then, I want to say that he was really concerned about it being 5-to-1 or 6-to-1, and that we needed to get it down from that. Currently, Dr. Prasad said last night, it's more than 10-to-1. Mm. And so with that, I'd like Jeff to come in with us, and we can either do the video, Jeff,
why don't we look at the label itself? A lot of people haven't seen the label, and I've got a copy of it here. If I can pull this up onto the screen, and maybe I will just spotlight myself, and you can go in and Jonette, take a look at what that label actually says, and reference what Dr. Court was just saying, where we're using such an upside down approach to what gets more tell us why this is important, because even the manufacturer said nobody is doing this.
Well, and I wasn't. So this is going to be my perspective on this, and I was excited to ask Dr. Prasad. I'm going to walk through.
I'm going to zoom in on a little bit more so that you can see it right there.
One of the things that I was so excited about this product is I've looked at many omega-3 products, and we actually measure omega-3s and the complete panel of omega-6s and omega-3s and the EPA, the EPA arachidonic acid measurement, which is omega-3 omega-6 balance. One of the things that's really special here is that Dr. Prasad actually put a vitamin E as D-alpha tocopherol on here as a way to protect the oils from not getting rancid. And this is a very big problem. And I was reading books from even 25, 30 years ago from MDs from Harvard, and these are experts of omega-3s. They were saying how important it is to be able to put this vitamin E in to be able to help protect the omega-3. And Dr. Prasad did that. And that is awesome. So also the 2-to-1 ratio between the DHA and the EPA. And actually, one of the things with this wild-caught omega-3 fish, and there were 2 types of the wild-caught sustainable fish, it's 2-to-1 DHA to EPA. And from Dr. Prasad's research, that was very, very important that it had to be that ratio of the omega-3. And EPA eventually will convert to DPA and then to DHA, which are other omega-3s. And so the next part is this borage oil, which is a natural oil, and it's a GLA, and that is an omega-6, and it has 150 milligrams of the borage oil. Of that, 30 milligrams are the GLA. And there's a lot of research out there on GLA and the amazing things that it can do. And that's really amazing that he actually put that omega-6 in there to in this formulation. I've never seen it before.
I haven't seen it either.
And then so the omega-3s come from fish, the EPA and the DHA, and then the borage oil is what the actual omega-6 comes from. But then the actual organic flaxseed oil is the ALA, and that's a plant-based. And he brought that in as another omega-3, but it's plant-based. I have never seen a combination like this where he protected the product with the vitamin E so it doesn't go rancid. Okay. And he has a 2-to-1 ratio of the omega-3 from the wild caught sustainable fish. And there are a couple different types, which I didn't get. I was going to ask him that tonight. And then we have the borage oil, and then the organic flaxseed oil, which is actually a plant-based. So this is incredible, Jeff. And what I'm excited is that this is, and I wanted to talk about this tonight, it's a 2-a-day dose. And so, for me and what's currently out in the market, most people that we measure are very deficient and they have a lot of neurological issues. And I know that by taking this product twice a day with our CQF standard that Dr. Prasad has developed, that we're going to be able to help with all those symptomologies which so many people have.
Jet, and I want you, if you just think about it when I'm asking this question, but I'd like you to explain, if you can, why is it so important that we have this 2-to-1 ratio? But then the other thing that I want to share is that, this whole flip of omega-3 and omega-6, it started a long time ago. It started actually after World War II when we started making processed foods, and Birdseye was one of the first. And so we started having processed foods and frozen foods and pizzas and all those kinds of things. Those are omega-6s, and they drive that imbalance up. And when the omega-6 goes up, so does the inflammation and the heart disease and all the other things.
And it affects the rigidity of our cell membrane. And I'm not an expert of why he said 2-to-1, but I do know there's a lot of benefit for EPA for cardiovascular benefit. But when you have more DHA, it really is the more therapeutically used for eyes and brain. And so to have a more balanced approach, because you want to be able to have the benefit of the anti-inflammatory cardiovascular benefit of EPA, but you also definitely want the protection of your eyes and brain from the DHA.
It's just super high octane.
It's very important that it's balanced. And
right.
I look forward to a deeper dive with him on that question. I hope I did it justice.
What's next?
Well, and I just want to jump in here and say, since Friday, when we took this tour of the manufacturing, the bottling facility there, we've been taking it, the Omega Daily, and just like the probiotics, I feel like my body deserves a little bit more. And so I've been taking 2 in the morning and 2 at night, minimum. Just it's nice just to have another one sometimes in the middle of the day, because of how well that just, it makes me feel like I think better. I don't know. It's kind of like describing it like before Brain Boost and after Brain Boost, because there was that difference that Brain Boost added. But this isn't just brain related. It's the whole body. It's I'm noticing even in my skin, knowing that the collagen is doing an incredible job, but just having the right oils in is making all kinds of differences in us. And that graphic that you showed us earlier tonight, where all of those around that circle, all of the different maladies that come from a deficiency of omega-3 is craziness. But I'm feeling it. I mean, we're 5 days into this experience, and we're going to order even more. I mean, we came home with 20 bottles. And that's not enough after I see how much I'm enjoying it. And I don't. Do you want to see? You want to take a tour of that manufacturing process right now?
I want to do a tour. I do want to do a tour, but I want to say this, that we're going to know more about the dosing because of the precision of the balanced omega product that he made. A lot of research out there, even at 4 grams of an omega product, is safe for most people unless they're on a blood thinner or warfarin. And we need to be conscious of that, because it will help thin the blood and help it not be as sticky with blood clots. But I think the dosing, Jeff, is going to naturally evolve, that we, because it's so well made, we'll know more. But yeah, we know we've seen up to 4 grams, and this is nowhere, even with the 2 a day dose, it's not even half of that, what we've used therapeutically. So,
well, holy mackerel, I'm good with it. I can't wait to get it in my body.
And then we've got this kind of an opportunity that I'm sure we'll revisit back before the evening is over. Between now and the next time we have another one of these evenings, and you've got Dr. Prasad on, there's a lot of people that could take advantage of what David and Dr. Prasad are willing to do here. So,
well, Dave and Jeff, 1 second.
Yeah.
The other thing is that with that special, it's $33 a bottle. There is no omega product that even comes close to that. So that's why this is so important.
No, I want to clarify this. There is a variety of prices, and not necessarily for quality, on the market, but none of them offer a 2-a-day dose. And for that price, for a 2-a-day dose, you're going to see people that have joint pain, inflammation, skin issues. Dry eye is one of the number 1 issues that we are dealing with. When going into most GPs, it's dry eye, and that is directly related to omega-3 deficiency. So I want to say that there won't be this special again, but I'm excited that he has made such a beautifully crafted product for the price at a 2-a-day dose.
Absolutely. And then if you look at the size of the gel cap itself, I mean, we were buying fish oils from Costco. Just I'll throw it out there. You know, they were cheap, but man, they're like three times the size. And Helen, there was no way that she'd ever be able to swallow those. These are swallowable. They are. It's just amazing what they put together, and there's so much in there. I started comparing the labels and the difference between this and so many of the other omegas that I've been exposed to. It's just like, oh, is there such a thing as filler oil? Is there such a thing as stuff that is just because huge capsules, out of ratio? I mean, and we're in these little, it's like super gels almost.
When your body can't use it, then you end up burping it up. And that's why a lot of people get this negative, connotation to fish oils, is they don't like the fishy taste. And, we used to tell people just put it in their freezer and take it that way. But most likely, if it's really nasty, it's rancid. And that's why he put in
the vitamin E,
the vitamin E acetate, so that it doesn't give you that fishy taste.
Yeah. Well, and that's just, what we all know. If you can smell fish as you're going into a fish restaurant, you know that it's old fish. Mm-hmm. That's that same thing. It has started to turn. And if you're tasting really fishy, it's and that's, I've got them right here on my desk, and you can just pop another one in, and look at the size. Look at the size. I had to get one of the other ones, and I mean it's like so much bigger.
For those people that have trouble swallowing, they'll be able to swallow these. They're small. They're probably one of the smallest. And with the amount of omega-3 in it, and the vitamin E, the borage oil, and then the flaxseed oil, I mean, that is just really an amazing combination.
But with the protection of the bottle, which Jeff is going to show us about, it does help to keep the product stable. But just from a physician standpoint, if you're in really hot temperatures like we are today, 100-degree temperatures, you might want to put it in the refrigerator to keep it cool, so that it doesn't have that chance to break down.
Well, and really, we asked Dr. Prasad about it, and it has to do more with the gel cap becoming sticky, and then you're kind of looking at a clump of capsules. Mm-hmm. It's not going to destroy the efficacy of the oils. It's just the presentation of the oils that you'll have a clump, because the gel cap will, just kind of give you an idea. This is how I like taking them. And so those that are concerned about a gelatin cap, you don't even need to take the cap. The oil does not taste bad at all. I enjoy it. In fact, during Lunch and Learn today, we talked about how about somebody who is creating the poultice, and they asked, well, can we create it with the oil from our omega-3 versus the organic coconut oil? And Dr. Prasad says you won't derive as big a benefit for the cost. So he says you may want to add one to it. Just take a little pin and prick the end and squirt that into the poultice along with it, because he says to get an entire tablespoon full of the oil, because these are such small and concentrated gel caps, he says it just from an economical standpoint, it wouldn't benefit, but from an overall health and putting those oils close to, or what we would say, topically. Well, anyway, so it's something to think about there.
And I think that that's a really interesting point, but I wanted to talk about this because there are different fats, and I wanted to back up. That would be a medium chain fat, which is like a coconut, and it has other therapeutic properties, okay, between 6 and 12 carbons that you don't get from the omega-3 because it's a medium chain. And so combining those, you'll get more different therapeutic properties. And then also even like a short chain fatty acid, which for many people on here might not know this, but a short chain fatty acid like butyric acid, Dr. Prasad actually discovered the cancer properties of butyric acid is a short carb. It's 6 carbons or less, and they're made in the gut from fermented fiber. And so we have different types of fats that have different jobs in our bodies. And I think it's important because I wrote that up for people to have the basic knowledge and being armed. And when you're discussing with people why this product is so special, and we need to have fats, just like a coating around a wire is to protect that fat around our electrical system, around the cell membranes and in your brain and in your eye. Those are so important. And when we have an imbalance of omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, we have a lot of diseases, and just having one deficiency in the fats could really cause a lot of havoc. And so I'm really excited to flip that around and see optimal longevity for everybody on this call. But with the poultice, I hope that helped with the being a medium chain fatty acid, and then adding the long chain of the omega-3 together could really help people immensely.
And when you're talking about the nerves, and that's me, I like to get on her last nerve. But when you're talking about the nerves and we're talking about the myelin sheath, you sent me today a really cool paper on ALS, on Lou Gehrig's. And this morning I had a consultation with a patient in Oregon on ALS. So why don't you just touch on how important it is for our nervous system and for that myelin sheath and the demyelination that we see in so many different disorders.
In so many different diseases. And ALS, they're currently, like 10 years ago, when someone was diagnosed with MS, there was no hope. And now people are getting out of those wheelchairs and they have lives. And I know that's going to happen for people that have ALS too. But in the latest paper on ALS that just came out just a few days ago, it is an imbalance of omega-3s, and it was actually ALA that they noticed that the people with ALS did not have enough ALA. So I'm really excited that his work is going to be able to help so many people. And why don't we go ahead and roll that V footage to see how the product is actually made, Jeff?
Well, how it's bottled.
Yeah, how it's bottled.
Yeah. We'll do that. And just to understand that this is the same line that handles a lot of the other capsules. And so it is just amazing how clean and how efficient this equipment is. Brand new facility, and we're fortunate to have the relationship that we do with this new manufacturer. And this is amazing. So here we go.
Bottles are inserted inside the bottling unscrambler. So empty bottles go in here. They go up the elevator. This is where the bottles are getting singulated, so they go one at a time on the line. After the bottles are singulated on the line, this mechanism makes sure that they're all facing the same direction. After they go through this point, they go through upside down, and they get air flushed through these 4 ports to blow air through the bottle before it stands it up on the line, upright on the line. From here, it goes through a 6-lane capsule counter. You can see all the bottles underneath here. There's a sensor right here that once the bottles get past here, it tells the machine that I need more bottles and feeds more bottles in, just like this. Then over here behind us is the capsule elevator. So this is where we dump capsules in. It goes up the capsule elevator. And then you can get a really great shot of this right here. All the capsules are filled through this elevator, and then they vibrate on these channels to go down through the capsule channel. These are all the omega-3 soft fields going down. Down here, they're getting chemicals and dropping in the bottle. Once they reach 60, they're released, and they turn and go this way. Then we go through metal detector. So that's what this machine enters. Metal detection, just as a safety precaution. It goes through the metal detector, it goes across the check wire. This check wire ensures that we have the correct capital count inside the bottle. So it's not only counting it correctly, but it checks it right here before it goes off the line. Then it turns and comes down to the counter. So we throw the tap to that. Then this is the induction feeder. So the seal's actually up inside of the lid. That gets torqued down onto the bottle, and then right here, this machine seals the induction seal to the bottle. So that seals into the bottle. After it seals in, it goes through a bottomless conveyor where it lock coats the bottom of the bottle. Then it goes through the labeler, so we've got a roll of labels here in the back. It's almost time to change it. This is the part I like the most because it brings the product to life, right? So the bottle goes through here, and this is where the label's applied on the bottle. Then it comes out on the other end all labeled. And then turntable, when we always fill the bottle in the cases, we'll set it out.
So Jeff, with your experience, because of in your life, and you've been to many bottling facilities, many manufacturing plants, have you ever seen anything such as state of the art as we just saw right there?
No, I mean, as we were going around there with the owner of the facility, I mean, you could just tell how pleased he was that all of these things have come together and is working so well. He has the state of the art equipment. In fact, I even while I was there, I opened up my phone and I had some errant bottles, and I says, well, why would something like this happen with our probiotic? And he looks right at it and he says, you know what? Sorry, Jeff, that wasn't ours. That was the prior manufacturer that you had, because here's our standards and here's why that would never happen. And it's like, oh my goodness, and in fact, we had quite some incredible conversations about our formulas. I say our formulas, but they're Dr. Prasad's formulas and why they are so unique. We talked about the hydro that just was introduced and how he created that incredible experience from a flavor standpoint. I was just, it's amazing. And I, we've got 75 of us here on the call today. I'm telling you, if any of you have a background in the supplement industry and a company called Nature's Sunshine Products, that is where this individual spent 20 years. And so to be able to take that knowledge and create a facility, I really think for us, I mean, it's just been amazing to have this relationship. This is the third time that we have been to that plant and just really have enjoyed our experiences every time. So
what does he think of the Omega-3 product that is put out?
That's I got a lot of video of him describing why this is so different and why he couldn't go to just any soft gel manufacturer because they didn't have the capabilities to formulate like Dr. Prasad suggested. I mean, Dr. Prasad puts it all together in his mind, and then comes well, how are you going to manufacture it? How are you going to source that? How are you going to protect that? And he just says, this is amazing. He had to go within his network and find somebody that could even accomplish what Dr. Prasad was doing. And he said, it is so unique. There is not another company out there that is coming anywhere close to doing this. And he knows, I mean, that's where he has spent a good part of his life, is understanding the supplement industry. And we truly do have a really, really unique experience and opportunity for us.
Well, and this isn't something that he just dreamed up. Dr. Prasad's been working on this formula in his noggin for at least the last 10 years. Many of the books that we have, it's listed over and over and over again as to how important it is to have these omega-3s. Jet's had so many conversations with him, but I never dreamed that this is what would come out, because this is beyond anything that I've seen in 40 years of medicine, far beyond whatever I've seen.
Well, and I think like when you said, to get to see the quality and efficacy of how the product's made, right there in the greater Salt Lake area. So there's a lot of control. It's not cross country, but it's patent pending. And so is the microdaily EMF Hydra. So is the collagen. And so is the probiotic boost. And not every company is going to spend the money to get something patented, because it's not novel, it's not unique. So this omega-3 is going to bring shock waves through because of this patent pending. Because most people are like, oh, I just take high EPA and then I have a DHA at night. And then there are algae products that they'll have to take more. And then people are trying to figure out what they need to take, and they're buying 3 or 4 of those products, and it's $200 or $300 a product. And we know, because we measure a comprehensive omega-3 panel. It's very unique. You can't get it everywhere. And so we know this, and we've seen what's out there. And so I'm excited to get to measure. I'm excited to get to see how quickly this balanced formula with both the sustainable wild-caught fish and plant, right, protected with the vitamin E, to get to see what's really going to happen into your bodies and the people you care about. But let's talk about, Jeff, symptoms again. I'm going to pull that back up because I want people to think about symptoms when you're deficient, because I think that's a good one to leave people with.
And these are the symptoms of dis-ease.
Well, these are specifically when you're deficient. We'll just walk through. When you have arthritis, you have stiff joints, you have pain in your joints, you have cardiovascular diseases, okay? Because the omega-3 is going to help the platelets and the red blood cells not be so sticky. You have blood clots, okay? ADD and ADHD. And while we're looking at this, there's tons of research. If you want to look on each one of these individual deficiencies, there's tons of research out there, tons and tons. And then we have skin disorders, eczema, red raised rashes, any type of skin issues. This is a telltale sign. Excessive earwax, which I thought was crazy. Dry hair, dry nails, dry skin, Alzheimer's, dementia. So this will be a great add-on to the dementia protocol. Obesity. We didn't talk about this, but there's a lot of research out there. When you have a deficiency and you have more omega-6 from the hamburgers and the French fries and the potato chips and not enough fish, because who wants to eat sardines or anchovies? So we've got to get these in there.
Anchovies on your pizza.
Jeff.
No, sardines, not anchovies.
But because of that, we have a obesity issue. So when you balance those out, and we're going to be in this 2-to-1 ratio of DHA to omega-3, to EPA, we're going to see people that have struggling with their weight, it's going to get better. And that's a fact. There's a lot of research out there. Macular degeneration, people that have eye issues. This is going to be really important because a big part is the DHA in the eye. And so this could be very, very helpful. Dry eye. What does that one say? Aging, right? Postpartum depression.
Huge.
Okay, that's some, we know what people don't talk about that, but you could help people that are having a brand new baby, cancer, and especially breast cancer, asthma, allergies, hives, histamine type of issues, anxiety, depression, bipolar, fibromyalgia, not having enough energy. That's like almost every person that we meet. And Jeff, I really wanted to end with this. Like, I know this seems like a lot, but we go back to Dr. Prasad's fundamental statement that he says, and why it's his life's work. If you have one deficiency in a nutrient, just one, it could really create, I would say, misinformation and communication between the antioxidant defense system and the endocannabinoid defense system. And when that happens and they're not cross-talking, when we have stressors and insults from radiation or whatever it is, that one deficiency could really cause a lot of issues, as we just saw. But now we have a solution. So Jeff, do you want to pull up, it's buy one,
Special.
The special, which is buy two, get one free. And so I want you to know, this is a 2-a-day dose, normally at $49, right, Jeff? $49.99.
Yep.
And so you're getting 3 bottles for the price of 2.
$33 each.
Okay.
This is the time to load up. $33 each is just a ridiculous price for this.
Through the end of the month. And like I said, for a 2-a-day dose, no way. You're going to have to spend well over $120, $140 a month on that. So this is the time to do it. And is there anything else, Jeff, that I didn't answer? Because I had to do this on the fly because I was going to be interviewing Dr. Prasad.
I think it's nothing is by accident. I think not having Dr. Prasad here tonight allowed you to go into some more of that wheel that we just referenced, and just take a little bit of extra time and not have the pressure. Nobody knows what it's like to have Dr. Prasad on a call when you're hosting a call, because he is so smart, and we want to do a good job. We want to look good in front of Dr. Prasad. And I'm telling you, you just did fantastic tonight, both of you. The whole delivery, the conversation, what we actually talked about. We're seeing it in the chat. People are saying, thank you for tonight. Where do I get a copy of this information? This has been incredible. And so I really feel like that we covered it all, and we demonstrated once again that we can pinch hit because of your knowledge. I mean, Jet, this is your wheelhouse. This is what you are just passionate about. And because of your research, your understanding, you certainly were able to deliver that to all of us tonight.
Thank you. I was a little nervous because he was amping me up, saying how great it was, because I was ready to ask Dr. Prasad some, good questions. And I'm like going, oh man, he goes, I'm so sorry, Jeanette. I'm unavailable. I'm in Houston. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, I'm ready, because I want everybody on here to know that this is a great product. And, for $33 a bottle, this is what you got to do. You've got to stock up. And I'm just really, we've known for a long time that omega-3s are so important, that these are going to be safe because of the vitamin E that's in there to keep it from getting rancid. And I want you to know, I'm excited for Dr. Prasad next week, we'll talk about Dr. Prasad's 4-4, and we'll bring it all together. And so I think that's it.
You don't want to touch on it tonight?
No, I want us to focus on the omega-3. I just do. I think it's, and so Miss Monica, I don't know the shelf life on the omega-3.
Dr. Prasad talked about it today during Lunch and Learn, and he says it's a 5-year. He says, just like the other products, because of the opacity of the bottle, meaning it's dark, because of the way that, he says, just manage the temperature. You don't want it to get up into the hundreds, because it's not that the oil is going to have an issue. It's the gel cap is going to have an issue. And it is significant in how long those gel caps have to dry. and the temperatures that they have to be kept in. I mean, there's just a lot of things that the manufacturer talked to us about how special this is, because that gel cap has to be able to withstand certain things. So he says, just like the other products, it's going to last. But why would you want it to last? I mean, you should be consuming it. Other than with this special right now, and I'll pull it back up here in front of everybody. With this special, not only can you buy two and get one free. So it's like a 3-pack, 5 3-packs, and you've spent $500 because it's $100 a 3-pack. And those of you who understand the significance of what David did also last night, that's $500 worth of product, and you save $1,000 on your family vacation room. I mean, he's taking $1,000 off the room to be with us down in Cancun. So how can you go wrong with that? I mean, 3 of those rooms are already gone just overnight because somebody realized that, you know what? Yeah, that's only 15 bottles. And like I said, Helen and I came back with 20, and we're going to get more. Not that we need another room for Cancun, but what an incredible opportunity to have that set back in case there's a supply chain issue, in case there's, something in our future that we need to have these products. Now's the best time to get them.
Well, and it's a 2-a-day dose.
Yeah.
And up to 4 grams is what we've seen therapeutically, like for the ALS patient, like let's say for those. And that's.
So what would 4 grams be, Chet, if you were looking at what we have here?
Current research, like therapeutically. So on there, it's hard for me to do that because he added in the other barrage oil, and he added in the ALA, so it's not a 1-to-1, but it's about, I don't know. I think 1,200 milligrams for one. So 2,000 approximately. Okay. Little less than that a day.
We'll have that answer though soon. You can ask him.
Yeah, that would be great, because I just know how good I feel. And I've been doing, as I've already told you, 2 in the morning and 2 at night, just because that's how I do all of the rest of the supplements. But it's amazing. And I just did another one here in front of the camera. And so that's going to be, by the time I take 2 more tonight, that's at least 5. I did one lunch and learn today, 6, and it's been an amazing day. So,
well, I think people will see joint in relief, and eye clarity. Okay, dry eyes is a really big one, and so I think that will be very, very helpful. And eye issues in general, ocular pressure is due to the imbalance. So get back with the person that got you on this call and get started.
Yeah, and I'll answer Monica's question Friday when I took the video that you just saw in the manufacturer's facility. Friday at about 10:30 a.m. was my first dose. So I did 2 capsules in front of the camera, just bit into them and experienced them that way. And then I did 2 Friday night, 2 Saturday morning, 2 Saturday night, Sunday, Monday. Now we're Tuesday, so 5 days, and amazing experience already. And it's not that I wasn't taking an Omega, because I had Omegas before we left for Springville, or America.
Have you noticed a change in the density of the capsule? Because it looked to me like these capsules were thinner, easier to be absorbed, not as thick as so many capsules. So many capsules are just like shoe leather.
Absolutely. And it is. It's just amazing. You can even, like I said, just bite on them, let them melt in your mouth. But if you don't, I mean, just poke them with a pin and squeeze them. You don't even need to put them in your mouth. Just, poke and squeeze if that's the way that you want to get your oils. And I'm telling you, Dr. Prasad he's got the right recipe. It can't all be plant-based.
No.
You need to have those oils that are coming from something that is, living, something that is alive, like the fish. So
even the research that's out there with the algae driven products,
Yep.
they have to take so much more Japan. It's just a different chemistry. And so that's why having a combination of that is really exciting. So get back to the person that invited you on this call.
Order products.
Or get your buy two, get one free. And if you
Buy 6, get 2 free.
yes. And if you want a copy of this or any of our Optimal Longevity series, you can go to YouTube on Team Serve, and it should be there shortly.
right.
We thank you for being on the Optimal Longevity series. Jeff, we thank you for helping us with this and pitch hitting. And we just wish Dr. Prasad safe travels, and he'll be here next week with us. Have a great night and be well.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Let's go.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Wait.